Let's get our panel discussion started. Like I said, I'm Samara Davis, founder of Black Bourbon Society, and this is what we're calling Salon 7. A salon goes all the way back to the Harlem Renaissance days, where the best and the brightest minds, artists and creatives and entrepreneurs used to gather in Harlem with some cocktails and with some food and have an enlightening discussion. And so that's what we're doing today with our partners from Jack Daniel's. And we are talking about celebrating legacy, right? It's Black History Month. But we're not necessarily worried about the history, right? We are creating history. And that's what this panel discussion is going to be about. That's what our honorees exemplify. They are creating history, and they are taking a legacy, either building their legacies for the future or carrying on a legacy from the past. So I'd like for my honorees, my 2022 honorees, to come join me up here on our panel. I'm going to read off my list so I don't get anything wrong. We have Melissa Mitchell. She's a wearable art designer. We have Justin Triplett. He's president of Cloud9 Concepts. Bettina Benson is founder and creative director of Chloe Kristen. Kiata Mincy Parker, she is all the things, bartender, filmmaker, and founder of A Sip of Paradise. We have Cameron Burke, who is the president of guest relations at A Seat at the Table Capital. And lastly, we have Chef Deborah Ventrice, who's the owner of Twisted Soul Cookhouse and Pours. They also did the food today that's so amazing on your tables and for the past food. Also honored but not able to attend is Ryan Wilson. He is the founder of The Gathering Spot. He's unable to attend. He's also traveling, and he has a young baby on the way, so he didn't want to stretch the COVID line. But he does send his regards, and he is honored to be amongst this amazing panel that we have today. So let's get started, right? Let's see. Before we dive into deep discussion, let's drink some whiskey. What do you think? Right? Like, that's why we're all here. That's why we're Black Bourbon Society. So let's start with, you've got some whiskey behind you. Melissa, I'm going to drink yours. We'll do the Jack Daniel's number 7. So, one of the reasons why we are also working with Jack Daniel's on this project specifically is because their first master distiller is Nearest Green. He is often recognized for being the first master distiller, and also he taught Jack Daniel's how to make whiskey. And this is in honor of his legacy that continues to blossom over the decades and over the years. Even some of his descendants still work at the Jack Daniel's distillery to this day. So let's go ahead and have a sip of Jack Daniel's number 7 in honor of Nearest Green. Just a sip. We do not shoot this. This is not tequila. Okay? We're going to taste this. We're going to smell it. We're going to nose it. We're going to enjoy this whiskey. So one of the things, let's just throw this out to the panel. This is a very talkative session. What makes Tennessee whiskey Tennessee whiskey? Pop quiz. Somebody said it. Do you want to explain, Miss Tiffany Barrier? Okay, so the charcoal mellowing. So this is called the Lincoln County process, which has been accredited to Nearest Green and to other African Americans that were distilling along with him during that time period. This is basically 51% corn, right, which is a bourbon. But Tennessee likes to be a little bit different. Sorry, Jack Daniel's people in the corner. So what they did is they take their whiskey and they filter it through charcoal, charcoal maple, and that helps to strip any of the impurities out of it, any of that bite out of it, any of those strenuous notes that you find in whiskey. So this smooth charcoal filter taste, that is because of the Lincoln County process. So should we have another sip? We're going to be sipping a lot, so we're going to be learning and talking and sipping. What do we think? Yeah? This is only 80 proof, and it is a good sipper. Lots of banana notes, lots of fun flavors popping up with this one. And you can totally tell that charcoal maple. Okay, so I have a cheat sheet, so don't mind me. So let's get started here. I kind of introduced who this panel is and why we and told who they were, but I would love to hear from you all, like, who are you? Introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about what you do and why you're so amazing and so dope. Okay? So we'll just start here, and we'll just pass the mic down. There's a mic in the centers to cover up the other half, so we don't have to go so far.
Let me make sure I'm right. Okay, good evening, everyone. I am Melissa Mitchell. I'm the chief designer and operator of ABL Creations, and I'm a self-taught artist, but also designer. And so I was telling someone my backstory about how I became an artist during snowpocalypse in 2014. And so as I was evolving as an artist, black folks weren't buying art. I was like, well, how can I get folks to buy art? I said, why don't I start wearing it? And so I taught myself how to get things onto mock-ups, got some production going, and now I have a wearable art empire that is sold all over the world, specifically with Foot Locker as of recently, and growing and growing and growing. So I'm being honored today because I decided to just take my leaps of faith, and it ended me up on this panel.
Good evening. I'm Bettina Benson, founder and creative director of Chloe Kristen. So my story in Cliff Jump is quite an interesting one. I went to Florida A&M University, went into medical sales, and became a mom. And I started to realize like there was something more that I had to offer this world. I also was navigating my own challenges, knowing the power of personal branding, and really finding a wardrobe that fit my new lifestyle as a new mom and a woman in corporate America. So I couldn't find it, and I realized like no fashion brand is talking to me. No fashion brand is speaking to women like me. And there are no black designers out there really speaking to this corporate woman that's going out there to make things happen. Like, we're not the women that got lucky. We're the women that go out there every day and make it happen. So I decided to take a cliff jump and design a small capsule collection. It was inspired by my daughter because, you know, one of the things is that, yes, we're told you can do whatever you want to do as long as you put your mind to it, but I do think that, you know, my family did what they had to do so I could actually live being able to do what it is that you want to do if you put your mind to it. So I named the brand after my daughter, Chloe, and we've been evolving for the past 6 years. I was able to walk away from my medical sales career in 2018, and now we're distributed at Stitch Fix and several small boutiques across the country, and we're expanding. And I'm also a 2020 Southern Living Tastemaker of the South.
Wow. Okay. How's everybody doing? My name is Cameron Burke. I'm the president of guest relations at a company called A Seat at the Table Capital. Basically what my company does is we came about during COVID, during a time where we saw a lot of businesses that were owned by us were struggling. Lack of funding, you know, a little bit of lack of structure and things like that. And I basically got tired of looking to people who didn't look like me to start a business for money, asking people for money. And that's how it came about. So our catchphrase is that we incubate and grow minority-owned hospitality brands. Basically what I do, we have four properties right now. Char Korean Bar and Grill over in Inman Park, Girl Diver, our newest one is called Holiday Bar, which is at the Interlock, and Parlor over in Castleberry Hill, all currently under our company, and we're opening up a fifth one in Summer Hill called Press Start. Yeah, so, but Thank you for everybody for allowing me to be here, and I guess that's how I ended up on this panel today. So.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Kiata Mency Parker. I am the owner and operator of A Sip of Paradise Garden. We work together, we play together, we heal together, and we eat together. A Sip of Paradise Garden is a garden that I started, a nonprofit for bartenders. As bartenders, we're the spine of every bar and every restaurant. You meet at the bar. You get fired at the bar. You're a psychiatrist at the bar. Hey, I've seen it happen. I have. I've been bartending for 20 years. I've seen it happen, I promise. So we're the spine of everything. We're everyone's therapist, and everybody comes to us. And a lot of times that pay doesn't match the responsibility that's put on us. And it's not fair. So who sustains us? Who's going to take care of us? Because we're so busy taking care of everyone else. There's nothing for us. A lot of times, and no shade, a lot of times with restaurants and everything, the focus is more so on the owner chef, not necessarily on the head bartender or the creative person. We don't get that shine. So A Sip of Paradise is a safe space that I created to play in the dirt with my friends. And it really, really just exploded into a whole different concept. We're going into our third year. We've been offered more properties across the country, including 5 acres of land here in Georgia at a place called Serenbees, if y'all ever heard of it. Yeah. Listen. And we're having all these opportunities, and we're really grateful to be a part of this night, because a lot of times, again, I just started something to work and help my friends, but we offer wellness activities. We do volunteer work. We have workshops on pickling, gardening, all these different things. And at some point, especially in 2020 when we started, we didn't know if we would have to learn to grow your own food anyway. It got a little bit real out here. But we're very honored, and we're so grateful, and we're just excited. But on one last note, philanthropy does not trust Black women. It doesn't. We're trusted at a point to take care of the children, to govern the home, to cook the meals. But the minute we ask for a little bit of something to make this world just a little bit better, we are constantly judged and shunned and assumed for anything else. So that's why thank you to Samira, Jack Daniels, and all the money that you're helping us raise to support what we're doing. Thank you.
Hello. I am Deborah Ventrice. I am a chef, an author, and a business owner. I've been in this game a long time. It's very easy for me to say I'm the oldest one on this panel, and my story is really, really long, but I'm going to keep it short. I started this journey in 1998 on my own. There was no mentorship for me, and all I wanted to do was showcase African American cuisine, soul food, and get away from the negativity that was brought with it, the name soul food, show the similarity to what was acceptable, which was Southern food. But we from all over this country, from all over this world, have commonalities when it comes to food. And that's what I chose to showcase. For me, as a first-generation entrepreneur, excuse me, and as a woman, it has been very difficult. And I've been at this for a while alone. There's a lot of people now that are coming around and coming through. My goal is to mentor and to support as many of those people as I possibly can, and to look amongst rooms like this and see the influence that I had on so many who are upcoming chefs, upcoming bartenders, upcoming business owners. I am about to open several more restaurants on the southwest side. And I'm very proud of what I'm about to bring to y'all on the southwest side, because it has not been done the way that I'm doing it. And it deserved to be there. And the opportunity came and I grabbed it, and I cannot wait for you to see it. My daughter is the general manager of my business now. When I started this journey, she was 1.5 years old when I started culinary school. She just turned 29. She will be opening a speakeasy on the southwest side of Atlanta that we are extremely proud of. The chef here, Chef Robert Butts, he's my executive chef now at Twisted Soul Cookhouse and Pours. He started as one of my line cooks. Now he is the executive chef, so all the food that's coming out, it's not my creation, it's his. So I hope to have many, many years to continue to upbring our youth, our next generation of entrepreneurs, and to be here for any and everybody. If they just reach out and ask for help, I'm here for you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Justin Triplett. I'm the founder of Cloud9 Concepts. We're a restaurant and retail operator in airports. We currently operate in Atlanta, DC, and soon to be Orlando. Much like everyone else here, they're in restaurant business. I'm a short order cook, I'm a cashier, I'm a waiter. I've done it all. And I work with my grandfather, Mr. Lucian Dillingham, who had a small soul food concept called Mo Better Chicken. He started that in the early 90s and grew it into the company that we have today. I joined him about 13 years ago, and we had one location in Atlanta, and we've grown it to several states now. And so it's just been a blessing to be able to work with my family, to be there with my grandfather and carry on a legacy that he helped establish and then take it up a notch. So thank you so much for having us this evening.
Oh my God. When we were planning this event, like I knew y'all were dope, but God damn it, y'all are dope as hell. I kind of want to throw my notes out because you guys just answered all my questions right there. So before we get started, let's just have one more sip because y'all are just toast to like amazingness. Cheers. It's the perfect order. There's so much synergy on this panel already. I'm just like, oh, like Chef Deborah needs to be in the airport and Cameron can fund it. Yes.
We all need to talk.
Right. And then like Bettina and Melissa like got the outfits and like the whole like design concept. Like, yes. And then Kiara, you got the whole like bar, the cocktail menu and all that stuff and the fresh ingredients. Like, okay, so, sorry. Okay, I'm not going to digress. I'm going to read this. So legacy has a myriad of definitions, but for the sake of this discussion, we'll stick with something that happened in the past or something that comes from someone in the past. And for this discussion, it's also building something to be passed down for the future. Clearly, we've just all heard that, right? Legacy being from the past and also for building for the future. So my question is, what does legacy mean for you? Like, what does that mean, and how are you carrying out a legacy, or how are you creating one for the future? So I know we kind of touched on that in your intros, but if we could just dive deeper, like, what really does the word legacy mean for you? And we can just pass the mic back this way, and I can.
So the word legacy means to me is being able to create something and then leave it better than you found it, right? You can take it and give it to someone, whether it's a skill set, whether it's knowledge, and this is not only for your familial relations that you have, but also the community that you work with. So I sit on the board of the 100 Black Men of Atlanta, and we help youth on the west side of Atlanta. Youth have always been my passion, and there's so many kids that need help. Just spending an hour with them, coaching them on math or coaching them on how to ask a girl to the dance. It's just being present in someone's life makes the world of difference. And so when we think about legacy, it's not only about your family, but also about the community around you.
When I think about legacy, I think about giving back and uplifting. I come from Kansas City, Missouri. And to be honest, it's rough as hell, okay? I grew up rough as hell. And I couldn't wait to get out of that space. It's a whole nother story how I ended up here in Atlanta. But there was, and there still is, so much opportunity that was here. And it was my first time seeing so much black excellence. Where I came from, there were several names of black families that you thought of as the upper echelon, as the wealth, as the ones that were running it. They had meaning. Everybody else was just somebody or nobody, as they thought in Kansas City. Here, that's not the way it is. It's so many families. It's an opportunity around almost every corner here. If you look in the right place and you come in with the right heart, somebody's going to listen to you. So as I said earlier, I'm trying to give back as much as I've gotten from this city. I'm trying to build black excellence, and I'm also trying to set my daughter up and her children and the children after that. And with the people who I work with, I'm trying to do the same thing, is to set not only them up, but for generations to come with knowledge, financially. I'm like, let's buy buildings. Let's do it all, y'all. Let's do it all, because that's what they do. And we have to learn that what we do now is going to impact a lot of people later on, and be willing to give back and bring as many people up with you.
So for legacy for me, it goes back to my father. I am a Liberian American woman, so I grew up in Liberia, and my father was the equivalency of a senator, and he was being groomed for president until he passed away. So my father put multiple children through school. My father constantly gave. Our house was a door for everyone. Everyone was always at our house. And it's that whole feeling of nurturing what's around you as opposed to leaving. So for me, it's not leaving people behind. So in 1990, May of 1990, we escaped. We were one of the last people that are able to get out of the country. Fortunately, having an American mother that deemed us American citizens, so there weren't any issues with papers. We were on the run for a week, and we were not sure where we were going to end up, especially in the 90s when there were no cell phones, no anything. I don't even know how my mother navigated through country to country in Europe with 3 small children. I have no idea how this woman did that. But for me, legacy is things like that, not leaving people behind, always taking care of what you have next to you. So my next endeavor, which is a project that is named after my father, is called the Gym Project. And what it is me going home, having a school, because I've already been offered a building, going back home and teaching girls from age 16 to 21 in bar culture, in hospitality, and just a way of life. You can learn you can go anywhere in the world and get a job in hospitality, anywhere. You can be in Paris and still wait tables. If you can smile and be nice to people, you can have a job. So me doing something like this is focused on the women, because for a point in time in Liberia, a lot of those women had to do what they had to do to survive: prostitution, being these slaves, doing whatever they had to do to survive. Liberia has the 4th highest child teenage rate in the world, 4th. And all that happened during the span of a war. So for me, it's giving back the same legacy my mother and my father have done and shared, and not leaving anybody behind. So, I'm long-winded. I talk a lot.
You said the bar was therapy. Okay, Cameron's got a mic.
I gotta stop following you guys. I gotta move on the end. I think legacy for me is a little bit different. I think passing down and being in community is very important, but being up here on this panel, I can say, because there's people in this room who've directly affected my bartending journey, I'm a product of legacy, especially in the Atlanta bar community. So at 30 years old, a few of you guys met me in my younger years, and whew, so I gotta give Samara, Tiffany, and Kenyatta their flowers, but it is a testament to that. I think the Atlanta bar community, the Atlanta restaurateur community, that I'm sitting here today, because none of what I am today happens without these three women in this room, and I really want to give them their flowers. And that's what legacy means to me, is the knowledge that was passed down to me, being a Morehouse student at Atlanta, not really knowing anything about the bar industry, and being a busser at Raw Sushi, and having these people come and groom me up and see in me what I didn't see in myself at the time. And being able to reflect on that in real time and pass it down to my employees now, pass it down to young Morehouse students now that I meet, is really what a seat at the table capital is about. Because if you don't have a seat at the table, then you're on the menu. And that's what legacy means to me. So yeah.
So to me, legacy means building something that outlasts you and leaving a blueprint that people can follow to get there. Having that mindset that there's enough for everyone. So as a high-end fashion designer, I think what people's mind goes to is we have to be in New York, we have to be in LA. The South is totally overlooked as a place to find high-end, fashion designers. And I'm like, I'm gonna do this right here where I live. If you look at the O'Neill family, several generations ago, our family traces back to a plantation, William O'Neill in Griffin, Georgia. So it's amazing that I get to be here now in Georgia on this very soil, building what is to be $1 billion fashion brand, fashion house. If you look at $1 billion fashion brands, you'll see Ralph Lauren, you'll see Tory Burch, but there's no one that looks like us that's reached that milestone. So, taking women, other women, black women along the way, sharing my resources, my knowledge. If somebody's having an issue, finding a factory for this or finding a factory for that, I've always taken the time to impart that knowledge and help them, because I've completely learned this by trial and error, pretty much by myself. But I've done that so I can leave a blueprint for other people that come after me and build something that outlasts me.
Beautiful. And I can attest to that. She definitely texts me, she's like, you need to go to this person, get your stuff done. And so I get to go on the other end this time. But I think about legacy, being the oldest of 3 girls. My dad had no sons. He passed away in 2010. And being the last person he spoke to before he passed away, being in the room when everything was unplugged, I was like, this is how you'll remember? Like, everybody ends up in this room on a bed, being brought out of here. And I said, that was the first day I said, how do I want to be remembered? And I think that's my resonating mantra every day. And so when I began to paint, I knew that was my way out and my way into another realm of just legacy, being remembered, and really etching my space on this earth. And so my father was an apparel designer, and he used to try to teach us the business every single day. I'm like, I just want to be married with 2.5 kids, give me a house and a picket fence. I'm going to get me a yellow BMW, work for Coca-Cola, and I'm going to have a good time in Atlanta. None of that happened. None of it, literally. And so when I thought about it, I said he was leaving breadcrumbs for 20 years. And every time I would walk into him on a meeting, I was like, who you need to talk to? I said, what? Those people up? He said, I'm talking to folks in China. I'm like, well, anyway, can I have money for so-and-so? And so I was listening, not knowing I was picking up how to negotiate. how to stay up late at night to talk to people overseas, how to go find manufacturers, how to know when people are trying to jip you on some money. And so I learned the business by mistake. And so when I go back home to homecoming at FAMU, I'm Mitch's daughter, but I'm walking in my apparel, and we look in the audience and see people in our dad's apparel. And so legacy to me is literally carrying on the mantle that's been left behind. I don't know if you all are familiar with Elijah and Elisha in the Bible. And so when he left his mantle, he gave me double of what he had. And so when I walk into businesses and they automatically give me a deal, I said it's not just for me, it's for me and my dad. So that's legacy to me. It's walking into open doors that have already been cracked open by my daddy. So, yeah.
Just so beautiful.
We need to sit back to
So just so you know, I'm just looking at these 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a few others in here. We're all 5, 6, 7. We're all Florida Agriculture and Mechanical University graduates, right? So I was on the Hill with you. I remember when we worked at the art store together. I do. Do you remember that? Right. And by the way, I am wearing Chloe Kristen. So I am fabulous in emerald. This is Bettina's, what was this, your fall collection? I don't know. Yeah, I didn't tell my husband. I put it on the card, and then he saw it. And he was like, what is this? Here it is. Okay, so let's take a quick break. I feel like we need another sip, right? Because this is heavy. I'm like about to cry. Y'all are so amazing. So I would like for us to try the one in the center. We're going to do the Gentleman Jack. This one, I want to make sure I get it right. So this one, like the first one went through the charcoal maple filtering. This one has been filtered twice. So it's even more smoother. Y'all know how I feel about that word in BBS. But this is a little bit more smoother and it's a little bit more sweeter. So let's go ahead and give this one a sip. This is a Jack Daniel's Gentleman Jack. I mean, it's not a BBS event if you don't get a little tipsy, right? Drink responsibly. Legal note. But yeah, so what do you all think of this one? It's really good. Okay, drink some. Do y'all need some water? We need some water. We need some water on the tables. Okay. So, moving right along, we can continue to sip while we're chatting, y'all, and eat. You got y'all like the charcuterie? All right, so keep eating, and we've got the fast food coming. Continue to snack. But we're going to continue to have our salon discussion. I feel so bougie. I am bougie, but yes. In my silk, in my shiny emerald. Come on in, y'all. All right. So, what inspires you to continue to build upon the legacies that you guys have already have? Like, what is your personal motivation to keep going, right? I also am fourth generation entrepreneur, right? And those are really big shoes to fill because you feel like you got to prove everything to everybody. So what continues to inspire you to keep pushing and continuing to build upon the success that you all have?
Okay, we're going to swing it back. For me, it's being the better version of myself than I was before. So last year, I finally took the leap and became a full-time artist. And it was scary. I quit on like February 11th, February 12th. I was like, Mom, you think they'll take me back? Because that security, like getting that good 6-figure check, it was like, okay, I had money in the bank, but it was just kind of terrifying. But when I looked at my account, God was like, it was never about the money, it was about your faith. Right. And so when I began to make it a true faith walk, I said, if I did all of this in fear, imagine what I can do in faith. And so when I began to really, really hone in on my intentionality every single day, you know, we are intention sisters. setting those intentions. March, I wrote some really big goals down. I just wrote the word global, and I wrote it over and over again. And so I was like, I don't know how this going to happen, but we're going to trust God anyway. And so a few weeks later, I went to donate some art to the president of Clark Atlanta. As I'm walking by the nail salon, I have the artwork face out towards the window. A lady comes running out and says, I love your art, Sora. I'm like, hey, girl. I have a mask. I was like, I don't know who this lady is. Her husband is the president of Clark Atlanta. And as I'm walking, one of my friends from Atlanta Influences Everything, he's like, Mel, you good people. I was like, yeah, thanks. We're trying to get in the building. He was like, well, I have an idea for you. Would you like to be sold in stores? I was like, why wouldn't I? He didn't know I had quit my job and I needed this opportunity. I'll make it short. But anyway, he connects me with a man from Foot Locker through a text message. We have dinner. Within 2 days, I have a global deal with Foot Locker now, sold all over the world, and I have a billboard in Times Square. And that happened from January to May, from that leap of faith. And so what keeps me going is just being better than I was before. So if I was able to set goals that big in fear, imagine what I can do this year on faith.
So, my life goal is to be the meest me that I can be. Like I'm gonna be the best me. I can't be anything else. And entrepreneurship has been a gift in that it's allowed me to learn so much about me, like so much about what I am capable of, how powerful I am. It's even strengthened the connection, to me and God. Like that's where my creativity comes from. We're all meant to create something. That's what we're here for. And so, that's what keeps me going. And it's crazy because anytime I've ever thought about, should I be doing this? Like, this is getting difficult. I immediately get a sign like, no, this is exactly like where you're supposed to be. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And this is the impact that you're having.
I think, just to answer it simply, what keeps me going is to create more rooms like this. This room is great. This room's amazing. This room is small, and we need to make it bigger. And that's what I think about every day, constantly. How do we make this room bigger? How do we redefine what we consider black-owned, black dining in the city of Atlanta, but through the United States? It's about changing the narrative. For me, it's about changing the narrative. It's about creating new opportunities and just going further than we've ever been before. Because a lot of us, a lot of people in this room are very distinguished, but a lot of the people in this room didn't have a you to help you do better. A lot of you guys accomplished it on your own. So now that we're coming together and now that we have a new generation coming in and things like that, we have the you. It's on us to pass all the information down to grow this room twice the size, 3 times the size. Like the sky's the limit.
Now I gotta follow you. Dang. For me, it's my family, and family doesn't necessarily mean blood. So it's my bubble of people. Of course, it's my faith in God, because a lot of times I don't even know how stuff happens the way it does, but all I can do is thank Him and keep it moving. But for me, it's my family. That's my children and all the sacrifices I made to make sure they're in college, they're honor students, they're good human beings, not people you got to worry about. My parents, the legacy of them and just keeping that going, that keeps me going, that I come from greatness. My husband, who pushes me every day when I want to punch him in his throat. But he believes in me enough to challenge me and keep me going and not be my yes person. How many of us got yes people? Oh yeah, no. He's the one that's gonna call me out and everything. My bestie, the one who be gassing me up every single time, knowing good and well I'm a mess, but she rides with me to the end, and if it goes down, we burned it down and we did it, just so you know. And my team, my staff, the people who've been riding with me since the beginning, this ridiculous idea of having a garden, don't know how we're gonna fund it, don't know anything about it, just know we wanna be outside with our friends, that's it. And just riding with me through it, and just believing in me. So for me, that's what keeps me going, because I have to keep what I'm doing going for these people. A lot rests on my shoulders, but I choose to put it on my shoulders because I'm built for it. So just, that's what keeps me going.
It's hard. For me, it is the knowledge that the best is still yet to come. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. It's not time for me to rest upon my laurels. I still have work to do, because until we all are successful, for me, I've not done all I can yet. And there's a responsibility, that comes with success. There's a responsibility that comes with greatness. And that is to make sure, that there are others that become great because of you. So I'm not just responsible for me. I'm responsible for, my family. I'm responsible for my restaurant family and their family. And I take that real serious, and I feel responsibility for my community. And when I say community, it's broad, it's real broad, because for me, it's all of us who have been underserved for so many years. And it's our time. And we have to keep believing that, and I have to keep telling that, and I have to keep telling my story, no matter how sick of y'all. I know y'all hear me on the radio now on a Publix commercial. It's okay, though, okay? Because we busted that door to get that Publix commercial, and from now on, they will continue to have black folks highlighted in Black History Month. So it's like I'm not done yet. And every morning I get up and say, okay, so what am I going to do today? How do I accomplish it? How do I make it better? And I'm going to continue to do that.
So when I was 10 years old, I used to come spend summers in Atlanta with my grandfather, and we would roll around in what was called the chicken wagon. It was a white Ford Ranger with a hatchback, and we used to go deliver chicken to different catering facilities. And I just think about what he built back then, and I was just 10 years old, just rolling with him. And where we are now, it's almost as if, how dare I decide not to continue this legacy? I go to conferences all over the country, finance and restaurant conferences, and it doesn't look like Atlanta at all, right? There's hardly any of us in the room. And to be in these spaces and be able to converse with people and show them what we're doing here in Atlanta is a blessing to be able to do that. And so I want to be able to continue to be included in these rooms and then pass on those opportunities to the next generation. And so that's what keeps me going.
All right. Sorry. Kind of mic juggling over here. So then I want to pass it on the way back, and let's talk about challenges. Like what? Let me read the question that I wrote. So, what are your biggest challenges? So, like, what are they?
So there's a lot in the restaurant business. I mean, you guys, we've been through a pandemic. The restaurant business was one of the hardest industries hit in our country. And it seems like if you didn't have a drive-through, or if you didn't have to-go order set up, or any type of virtual feature, your business was closed. I was in the airport. My restaurants in the airport were closed. So to be back this year, 2021, getting our legs back under us is really a true blessing for us. Whatever challenges that we're facing, I know that God's going to take care of it. So I don't sweat it. I just work hard every day, make sure I take care of my people, make sure that they're put at the forefront, and just continue to press forward.
Were you over there singing Negro spirituals?
You know I am. You know I am. You know I am. short version, I opened my first restaurant in 1998. Some of y'all wasn't even born that's up in here, okay? But it's been a long journey. And I've been called nigga. I've been called nigga bitch. I would have never hired you had I known how good you were. I've been told, you good, but you'll never be a chef up in my business. I've heard it all. And that was a motivator too that said, you know what, just do it on your own. You don't need all this. Fast forward, I've been getting a lot of roses, and I like that. I like that. But challenges still continue, and sometime, and I'm gonna take this time to say that sometime the challenges come. The worst ones, the ones that are most hurtful, are from the people who look like me. And it's a constant thing. It's a constant battle. The idea of black owned means anything less. It's like we have to get away from that. That's one of the biggest stereotypes and challenges that we gave to ourselves. We gave it to ourselves, or we tuned into what they said and we took it and ran with it. So if I say what's my everyday challenge, is having to deal with that, and looking at other businesses having to deal with it. So just let's all do better. Let's know that the struggles that white-owned restaurant is having in Buckhead, we are having about 5 times that struggle. We had 5 times that much to get into the spots that we are in. So don't come in with an attitude. Don't come in telling us about Yelp. Don't come in here telling us about social media. Give us the same respect you give any business. And know that we're making these spaces for you. So take care of your spaces. This is your space. Just like years ago, Martin Luther King was sitting at Pascal's and Busy Bee. These are spaces that now you've got even more to sit at and strategize and have conversations like this. Take care of your spaces. Take care of your people. I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm going to go ahead and pass this thing.
So I think for me, some of the challenges were that having a nonprofit bartenders community garden had never really been done before. So one, that's a plus because we're a niche market and it seems cool to people. The minus is we're a niche market and people really don't know what to do with us. But the space was designed for who it was designed for. So some of the challenges I got, because we started a Sip of Paradise Garden in January of 2020. At some point in that year, towards the end of the year, I started getting hate mail. I'm not sure who feels like you can hate on somebody growing stuff, but I was getting a lot of hate mail from people who did not look like us because they didn't understand why They didn't understand. And they didn't understand why bartenders who are irresponsible, who are always drunk, who assume we're always late, we're always coked out, we're just on these things, but you like to come and kick it with us and come to our bars and take shots and shit with us, but when we're trying to do something good, is that. So I was getting hate mail on that. I was getting told I was being irresponsible because I was not doing a program for battered women or anything. I have 36 members. 3 of them are battered women. So, kiss my ass. I was told I should have, being a wife of a veteran, why isn't this garden for veteran? 2 of my members are veterans. 1 is disabled. Fuck you. Like, all these things people were telling me, oh, this should be for children. Myself and most of my members have children. Everything you're saying, we're doing. We just put the label bartender on it, and you can't get past that. So the challenges I've received on top of how philanthropy does not trust black women is that sometimes people don't have faith in something that they know nothing about. So for me, the purpose is to keep all of this going and make the world a little bit better. I mean, happy bartenders, better drinks. I'm just saying, we're angry, you're gonna get bad drinks for the rest of your life. So I suggest y'all keep us going. So
I'll take a sip to that.
Please.
Challenges that I faced. Without harping on, how hard it is to get in the room and things like that. I mean, the biggest challenge that I faced, especially when we started this company in the middle of a pandemic, was really myself. Having good mental health is a testament to that. Having a knowledge base to be able to get in the room is a testament to that. And knowing all the legacies that came before us is a testament to that. And I think some of that was aloof on me. Like I said, a few of you guys in this room knew me before I was here, and having to grow up and having to deal with that was the biggest challenge I had. Learning what the mantle of being black-owned, black-operated meant, and really the value and the weight of that was something that I had to teach myself to get over, to elevate our community and elevate myself to get to the point. So I think it's hard. I think as a young man and as a young black man, I had to learn to get over all that to be able to succeed and put ourselves in a position to be able to do better and to grow.
So for me, one of the challenges is all the things that come along with being a self-funded business. So I remember in March of 2020, like the pandemic, everything shut down. My husband and I, Michael, we're looking at each other like, oh shit, like what are we gonna do now? Like wholesale orders canceled. And I'd realized that this one particular challenge of me kind of feeling like unsupported, that people really didn't get like what I was offering. Like they would look at the garment and be like, well, I'm not gonna pay $200 for that. But then I'm like, but you have on like Louis Vuitton. And then I realized, you know what? You're not my kind. Like you don't appreciate what I have to offer. We're about effortless elegance. When you walk into a room with Chloe Kristen, you don't have to be labeled down. People are gonna look at you anyway because you have a presence. So I'm like, I'm gonna find the people that really like would resonate with what I have to offer. So we built a direct sales team. I was like, whoever says yes, whoever sees a value in what we have to offer, like that's who's gonna be on this team. So come around July of 2020, I launched a direct sales team with 20 women. I think it was 8x, 5x something our revenue over 2019 and 2020. So that opportunity or that challenge of feeling unsupported combined with that challenge of navigating the pandemic really was the beginning of helping me strategize to get to where I am now. And really, I think the detractors sometimes can really pull our attention. Like you want to really pay more attention to the detraction. But what I've learned through this is pay attention to the people that are supporting you. Like include them in your journey. Like, and that's what you're gonna attract by really paying attention to those people. And that's why, I can go to Wisconsin to support one of my sales reps and have a client come in and buy 24 pieces from the collection. It says I'm pouring into who's pouring into Chloe Kristen. And by that, we're gonna have a beautiful room table of women, that have always believed in what I'm doing, and there are several of them here. I want to shout out Imani, who I'm still like trying to hire. Like every time I see her, I'm like, okay, this is what I want you to do. Victoria, Samara.
Everybody had great answers, by the way. I feel like we're on a pageant panel. And I want to vote for world peace. But I think for me, my biggest decision every day is choosing how to spend my energy. And I am hit with so many opportunities because it's cool to be a black girl now that paints. So everybody wants to, we'll give you $10,000 to do this. I said, that's not really in line, but $10,000 is not, it's not that bad. So for me, it's choosing how to share your legacy, how to share your gifts. Every opportunity is not the opportunity. I had to make some tough decisions to focus on the Foot Lockers and the other things, but I had to let go some other things that I had previously prayed for. So it's like, oh, I prayed for this job, but I'm gonna have to leave this job to go work on this. So I think entrepreneurs, I can speak for many of us, we have to make a lot of decisions every day that seem like the wrong ones to people around us, and then we make it and like, oh, girl, that was a good decision. Yeah, I know, I made it. And so for me, even now today, it's choosing, should I stay home and paint, because that's why I was almost late, and then choosing to go to events that continue to add to your personal and your professional brand. And so it's a choice, and you hit on something very important that people don't talk about is mental health. Even while I took that leap, I joked about having that anxiety, but every day you're faced with, is the pandemic going to happen again? Will I shut down again? Will people buy art in 5 years? You know, looking ahead and not looking too far ahead and get anxious about it. And so for me, it's that choosing every day who to serve and how to serve. And that, I guess that keeps me balanced with as I prepare to manifest more, but staying present in what I've already manifested.
You know, something that I just want to, I have to jump in here, y'all. Like, I just can't be Oprah, although I would love to be Oprah. But to that point, I think some of the lessons that I had to learn was I've made it this far. I'll make it even further. Like, at some point, I had to say, like, God, like, these blessings, like, I kind of was living in fear, like you were saying, like, maybe this will run dry. Maybe this well will run dry. And then finally, by year 5, I was just like, you know what? These opportunities keep rolling in the door. So, like, I can let go of that and just really walk in on faith and just really trust that, like, okay, I'm going to run with this opportunity, and I know another one will be in my inbox in another month, or another one will be. But it's a switch in being a leader from worrying about, like, can I survive, to, like, wait, I'm surviving.
I'm in it.
I'm in it. I'm doing it, right? And other people see it before we do as entrepreneurs. Like, we are just like head down grinding. And everyone's like, oh my God, you're doing amazing. I'm like, really? Like, I cried my eyeballs out last night. Right? Okay. So I want to share this last pour with you all. This is a very special pour. This is a private selection that Black Bourbon Society did with Jack Daniels. It is our Jack Daniels single barrel. And I am proud to say that this thing is flying off the shelf, so I can't even tell you to go pick it up. We will have more in stock next week, so follow our Instagram for that. But this bottle is super special. Not only did we select it with Jack Daniels, but the proceeds from this bottle go towards Kiata's nonprofit, A Sip of Paradise. So, and because I'm an advocate and I'm just really not taking any shit this year, I had to call some people out, and they donated another $500 towards this. So the check is wrong that we'll present to you in a little bit, but just add $500 on top of that, okay? We're going to get you your money. But it took to be in year 5 to be like, I'm going to speak my mind, and y'all going to get everything I'm going to have to say. So, cheers. So let's taste this last pour. This is the single barrel selection. So this is a little bit different from what you've had before. What you had before was, of course, Jack Daniels. It typically comes in smaller batches. It's blended with a bunch of barrels. This one comes from one barrel. So it has a unique characteristics of not only the charcoal mellowing that we all talked about with the Lincoln County process, but it is just this one unique barrel. So it has its unique flavors that come from the wood itself. So I see Tiffany's face. I don't know if that's a yay or a nay. Okay. So this one is a little bit higher in proof. It's 94 proof. And the notes on this, I have to say it because Jack Daniels is known for their banana flavor. This is bananas. It's bananas, it's papaya, it's tropical fruit, it's all the things. So I hope you enjoyed this last taste. And if you are able to get your hand on this bottle, just know that the proceeds are going towards greatness that is represented on this panel. And it is part of our partnership with Jack Daniels. So cheers to that. So while you all are enjoying this last one, I just have one more question for you all. What's next? Like, I want to make sure I ask this question right, y'all. Yeah, what's the lasting impact that you want to make? Like, high in the sky, think, Walt Disney type of an impact. Like, what is the biggest impact that you want to make with the projects that you all are working on?
I have the mic. So I just had an interview with CFDA recently. He was like, what's next? What's next? And I was like, I feel like sometimes we're so pushed to the future, but I don't want to put a limit on it. I think sometimes when you put that list together, it's almost like when you're looking for a spouse and you have this magical list and he doesn't match any of those things, like what's happening now. So you have this list that doesn't exist, but it's that blank sheet of paper that I've given God back. And I think that's what I had to learn how to embrace, even from the last year and a half or so. But when you say the sky, I see my artwork on the belly of a plane when I look up in the sky. I see myself walking through the airport and seeing the carpet being ABO Creations. I see the art in the lounges. So I am thinking about art in every facet of life, whether it's a bra, your underwear, it's the paper on your burger, it is the luggage that you roll through the airport. I see art everywhere. And so I want to be the Betsy Johnson, the Basquiat, anybody you can think of, all mashed together. I want my art to be in every walk of life. So that's where I see myself, not only now, but forever.
So the theme for me this year is team building. There's a lot that I want to do, but you cannot do that without having the right team. And so looking at the people that, I've brought on, like even insofar as a seer, I'm like, wow, like this girl, this is like who I'd want on my team. And the opportunity that I'm giving her by saying, I believe in you to take this and run with it. I'm not going to micromanage you. I've interviewed you. We've already been through that. You're going to own this. And the opportunity that I'm giving to her or to these people that are coming on my team to really help build Chloe Kristen. So it's really about building the team that's going to get us to being that billion-dollar multi-category business. The next thing I'm excited about is launching our accessories division that we will be launching this year, because people are literally going to wring my neck if I don't give them this belt that I designed 4 years ago. So I'm excited about that. And again, sky is the limit with accessories. And that's allowed me to be able to really, bring people in our supply chain together, like all across the world. We have Morocco, Colombia, China, New York, LA. It's so exciting. Turkey, India. So that's so exciting. So really just focusing on how am I spending my time today to get us to the Black Tory Burch, the Black Ralph Lauren. So that's constantly what I'm thinking about. Have I used my time wisely today to get to that level?
I think it's a two-pronged question for me. So I think what's next for my company in Atlanta, I want to make Atlanta the Las Vegas for black folks, right? We should be able to come here and have fun. We should be able to go to a black-owned restaurant and have a steak. We should be able to go to a black-owned restaurant, and get caviar. We should be able to go to a black-owned restaurant and do whatever we want, whether we want a garden, whether we want some twisted soul, or whether we want some fried chicken. I should be able to do all those things at a black-owned restaurant in some high-end clothing. So, we're at 5 bars and restaurants right now, but I think really making Atlanta the hub for the company is the biggest goal that we want. And then my grandiose impact, I want to make it easier to be a black operator in the United States of America. The process has taken too long. I appreciate all the work that has been done before us. I don't want you to have to work 20 years to, be able to open up 5 and 6 restaurants. We should be able to do it in 5 because everybody else does it in 5. It's really taking that load off as the operator it shouldn't stress you out. I shouldn't be going gray right now at 30 years old. To take that load off as an operator and that stress that comes with it, I want to lighten that. So, yeah.
Okay, so what's next for us is me and my team taking advantage of the different land properties we've been offered. We've been offered land in San Francisco, New York, Chicago, San Antonio, the 5 acres in Serenbe, 2 acres in East Point, and 1 acre in Hateville.
Cheers.
Listen, So for me, it's exploring those opportunities and seeing where they can go because, again, as bartenders, who sustains us? Who sustains hospitality? And it goes beyond your bartenders, your server, your barback, your bussers, your dishwasher, your maids in your hotel, the valet. We're all in service. So the plan is to be able to have these gardens and these little safe spaces for those individuals too, and take it all over the world. Again, you can be in Antarctica and probably get a job in the restaurant. It's that vast how hospitality is that important, and how people come in, treat us any kind of way, and then have the audacity to complain. Whereas we take everything with a smile, and when we don't take the smile, we lose our jobs. So again, this is just to offer a slice of peace for people, a tiny piece of ownership to all of us because we need it. Anybody in here who even worked at anywhere in service, McDonald's, whatever, at least for a week, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. I know you do. So that's the plan. Take over the world. That's it.
I'm with her and with everybody else. I'm taking over the world, okay? Because I'm at that point, like, who's going to stop me? So, I am looking to become a global brand. We've just gotten to the part where, now we are changing. We have individual entities with different concepts. And so now I find my attorney saying, you are a group now. And I'm like, okay, black woman, be a group then. Okay, so with that, we are, now in the process of buying our first building. That's the first building, not the last one, the first building. And we are going to continue to brand our concepts and take them not only throughout the United States, but take them globally as well.
For us, we're going to continue to do what we've been doing and continuing to grow in the Atlanta area and wherever kind of the wind takes us. But more importantly, it's about impacting the lives of those that come through our doors each and every day, making sure that the people that are working for our company feel valued and feel heard, and again, giving them skills that they can take with them. I have a young man who when he first started with us, he could not hold a kitchen knife, he couldn't prep a head of lettuce, he couldn't do anything. And he ended up working at a James Beard nominated restaurant. And to see him grow was just magical experience, and I want to experience more of those as we continue on in this journey.
This has been an awesome panel. This is like bigger than I ever dreamed of, y'all. I do want to throw it out to y'all really quickly. Are there any questions from the audience that you have for any of our panelists that are up here? They are so dope and so amazing. Oh, there's a question in the corner.
Hi. So I work as a graduation coach at a high school in the metro area. And I'm constantly trying to tell our babies that there's so many things. They can do so many things and be anything. What advice do you have for a high schooler that's getting ready to go off into the world about how to just live in your brain?
I would tell my younger self that you can do it all. I think that when we graduate from college, I know when you're a black woman, go find your husband, get your degree. That was it, right? And so why can't you do all of it? And, my good girlfriend here is showing us that we can do it all. But I think people think that you can't be a mom and a good wife. You have to choose one. You can't be a business owner and do all these things and travel, but do it all. Don't limit yourself to going to college and not being an entrepreneur. I wish I would have started my website at 18. I probably wouldn't have found no job. I would have just stayed with that. But I would have gotten my education and learned at the same time to cultivate my business. So do it all. Anybody else?
I say don't lose sight of the prize, and understand that there's a lot of different ways to get to where you're going. And there is, in my opinion, the only failure is the one that you didn't get up from. Okay, if you fall down, you get back up, and no, it's okay. It's okay. Just keep your eyes on the prize.
Yeah, I would say, drop the script. Like, examine if what you want to do was something that you've been programmed to do, or if that's something that you really want to do. And, like, the younger you are, I think it's very important to fail fast. Like, it's easier to get up from it. Like, when you're younger, fail fast. And the great thing about failure is, like, you found out what doesn't work. So now you can spend, more time on what does work. And that you can have it all, but you cannot have it all at one time.
Anyone else?
I would say it's okay. So many times we have all these plans, so when I'm this, I'm gonna do this, and this is this. If that shit don't happen, it's okay. Just take that pressure off yourself, because even now, today at 43, I'm still putting pressure on myself for stuff that doesn't feed me and stuff, so it's a journey. I would say it's okay. Like, if it doesn't work today, it's okay.
Any other questions? One more? Okay. There's the one over there in the corner. Question?
It's so uplifting because we challenge ourselves and these kind of transparent conversations about losing and failing and what our parents might have said you can't and should do. It's just really exciting to see that this generation, this living generation, we want to do it. Like and we have an option, and we want to make a decision to do better than just give up. So I'm just kudos to the panel. Everyone else is here. Is that this is not a giving up crowd. This is like, oh well, fuck it, we messed up. Let's do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow we try again. It's so uplifting, and it's just so honest to know that when you fail, it's okay. Like Frank said, it's okay. I failed, but I'm not gonna fail tomorrow, or maybe I will. And if I do, maybe not the next day. Yeah.
Right.
Just keep being in the corner about the crowd.
Well, on that note, I want to say thank you all for being our honorees this year. You all have met the assignment of taking on legacy, creating legacy, and just being just amazing leaders. You all are living Black history. And to Tiffany's point, we are creating history every single day. And I think that's what our generation does. Like, we can honor the past, but we also know that we are in a amazing position to create our history in our world every single day. So I admire and I love and I just adore every single one of you. I was like looking at Deborah and I'm like, oh my God, she's so fabulous. Like, I have been stalking her for years, ever since I moved to Atlanta. And Kiara and Tiffany, like, they are my buddies, and I do remember Cameron. You've come a long way, honey. But it is so good to see Cameron at 30, because most of us are 40 or above. And so Cameron, like, I was fucking up royally at 30, and you are doing it. And so, yes, like, kudos to you. And yes, to my girls from FAMU. It's been a long journey. So I have a lovely check presentation to give to you. And we have, you get money.
Okay. Y'all see what I got to deal with? Jeez Louise.
And so, like I said, I had to call somebody out on social media last night, and they added $500 to this check. So if I can get Brian to come over and take, this is Brian from Jack Daniels. Brian, do you want to say any words? He's from Jack Daniels. He funded this whole thing. Say thank you.
Yes, I'm speechless. This panel is amazing. I feel like I need to own something after talking. Thank everybody for coming to this BBS. The group is amazing. The room's amazing. And they're going to do this again in New York. So I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, we go to New York on the 20th. Yes.
So I just want to say we're very, very happy to present you this check today.
So this is a check from Jack Daniels, United Distributors, and from our nonprofit Diversity Distilled. We have all put in to match the proceeds from this bottle to get you $5,520 plus $500 from Star Liquors because they fucked up. So, so you got $6,000, girl, and we would love to support you and continue to support you in many ways in the future. So. Yes, party in the garden, and we can dig, and we can plot, and we can plant, and then we can drink. Yes. Thank you. I also want to give, this wouldn't be, an appropriate honoree situation unless you all had awards. So we do have some awards for you all. They are, hold on. Let's see, who is this for? This is for Melissa. This is our private selection that we last drank. It has your name engraved on it. So instead of regular, this is not the Oscars. Like, we do booze. So here you go. This is for Bettina and Cameron. Don't sip this all in one place. Kiata, this is for you. Chef Deborah, thank you. And please share this with the team at Twisted Soul. And this is for Justin. Thank you. So would you all like to hold up your trophies for the photographs? Jonathan, please. So may I present the 2022 honorees for Salon 7 Black Bourbon Society Legacy Awards. All right, so before we end, I just want to give one special shout out. We've got a lot of housekeeping to do. So again, thank you to Jack Daniels for being our partners in producing this event. Thank you. The cocktails that you drank were made by Kiata and also for Cameron. So, Kiata, will you tell us what our welcome cocktail was really quickly?
Oh, it was I'm sorry.
Hold on, we got to put the trophy down.
I know, protect the check, right?
Oh, and the check, and the check.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, husband. Thank you, husband. See, the husbands always make sure you get paid.
Oh, man, you have no idea. This one right here. Whew. So my cocktail was a spritzer. I like tart. I like crispy. I like to drink the entire day. So it was Jack Daniels. I do. I don't want you to do me hard. I want you to, all day. I want to keep it going. That's my drink philosophy. Don't mind me. So I wanted it light. I wanted it crisp. I wanted it to keep you sipping. So it was some fresh lemon juice, a syrup that was made of blackberries and cranberries, and top it with some champagne. I'm fancy, so that's it. So I like tart. I like bubbly. I like fun stuff.
Say it like that. I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, we're about to do a final toast with Cams.
I didn't know how long we were going to be here today, so I wanted to create a cocktail as a pick-me-up. I'm from Jamaica, if any of you guys know me, so I made a syrup out of Blue Mountain coffee. So we made a Blue Mountain coffee syrup. The key is we didn't actually make the coffee. We made espresso syrup from it, so the syrup's actually colorless, so it doesn't add any darkness to the cocktail and things like that. It was a lot of fun. We want the coffee flavors to come out. I thought it was a good early afternoon cocktail. Yeah, or early evening. Yeah.
So on that note, let's raise our glasses. And let's say cheers. You want to? Yeah, I'll grab one. Hold on. Let me put down my little sip and drink. You want to drink water? Okay. So let's do a toast to our panelists, to our honorees, to Jack Daniels, and to Black Bourbon Society. That's me. And to being living history, to being living legends. How about that? Cheers.